Hello, my lovely lights, and welcome to Awaken You Healing Center with Shelly. Today, I wanted to do a deep dive on helping heal our heart chakra, the space of love and healing. I recently made a video about healing all of the chakras and different mudras and crystals and things, but there's so much more to explore. So today, I wanted to focus on just the heart chakra. So my lovely friends, please subscribe to Awaken You Healing Center with Shelly. You can thumbs up this video if you like it, and please share with people that you love, because everyone can use some healing in their heart center. I love you, and I'm so grateful for you. Friends and sisters, healing our heart space can be a really hard thing, and a lot of times I find we hold so much in our heart center from trauma, from childhood, past horrible experiences, or even sometimes someone just said something to us where there was an experience where we didn't feel loved and we didn't feel that we deserved love, so we shut down this energy center. I find it all the time when I'm doing energy work, and I just wanted to kind of deeper dive and explore how we can expand healing to our heart center for ourselves. Because yes, we could do energy work and even have like a Reiki practice or an awesome yoga practice, but how can we bring more healing into our everyday lives? And so I invite you to kind of like tune into like a color that kind of makes you feel connected to your heart. And it doesn't have to be like the standard, but the standard chakra heart healing is green or like a light rosy quartzy pink. And so a great practice that we can do to help invite healing into our heart, which is actually the space of like our breathing and our lungs. And so pranayama, inviting that life force into that heart space. So that's breath practices where you're going to focus on inhaling into the lungs and exhaling out. And just really tuning that breath in to the space with the intention, because intention is like 90%. When we intend, we're putting our thoughts, we're putting our energy towards something. So if we go into any practice and we're intending on something, we're going to even more amp up the energy. But if we go into it and we're feeling like disconnected from that and we're like, no, this isn't going to work, it's almost like you need to stop there. So if you're not feeling like you're at a space where you are open to healing your heart center, that's okay. Like, it's like when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Like maybe you need to watch this video in another month or a week or a year from now and just, allow yourself permission that you are worthy of healing the wounds of your heart. And knowing that energy healing, right, it's part of like a holistic healing approach. It's not just like a one and a done kind of thing. So anything green, like you can also invite healing by just wearing green, like wearing green with that intention, or wearing light pink with that intention of healing that heart center. Even like having a cozy blanket or wearing jewelry that reminds you of that color. And healing crystals for our heart center, there's some kind of more like basic crystals that I like to use, which the first is a green aventurine. So green aventurine is a great crystal for helping heal the heart center. And this can be a great crystal that you can sleep with, and you can even just set it on your chest when you are resting, or you can even place it by your bedside table. You could even make a crystal grid under where you sleep. A crystal grid is just, I've been intuitively doing it for years, but it's just you're putting crystals where it feels good for you in your body, and you can put them under your bed. I have found though it's really powerful to wear them in the form of like malas when they're actually on your skin. I love the vibration and feeling them. So you could even order a bracelet, like getting a healing piece that's geared just towards that energy center is really powerful. Another really amazing crystal to encourage compassion and forgiveness and healing is rose quartz. And this one is not super rosy. It actually looks pretty white. I don't know if you can see, but it's just like this very light, lovely pink. And rose quartz is a great crystal. This actually my husband found where I live up in the mountains, which I always love that when you find like these magical healing energies that are just like under the ground that we live in. And so these are great ones. And when I'm doing Reiki energy work, I will even place these big clusters on the chest, on the heart. So maybe if you're like having a hard day, you could hold it in your hands. And I invite you to use this as kind of like a nighttime ritual, a nighttime practice, as you can bring your crystals with you when you're sleeping, and you can just lay it on your chest with that intention of healing. And even if you fell asleep with it in the middle of the night and you rolled over and you heard a loud clunk, it would be fine. It might wake you up. But I like to sleep with crystals around me. And if I'm really struggling, I will make almost like a crystal perimeter around myself. I do it with my kids. If like they're having a lot of fears or worries or anxiety, I will build like a crystal grid around them just to keep the energy protected. And another crystal that I just like freaking love in everyday life and to help clear all of our energies is magical selenite. And this is a pretty big chunk. You can get these in pretty small pieces, and it's usually like a really light milky. This is actually a raw Utah selenite that I got from a local rock shop up in Estes called Dick's Rock Shop. I think it's now called like Rose Red Rock Shop or something, but it's freaking magical. I love this crystal in everyday life for any energy center when I'm struggling. And this might be a little heavy to lay on your chest, but sometimes it's comforting. Like, have you ever used a weighted blanket? The weight can help, and you can just hold it, and this can just kind of help cleanse out the impurities and like the toxins and some like emotions that we've been holding on to, right? A lot of that pain originates in our hearts from those experiences where, again, we didn't feel loved. We didn't feel like we were worthy of love. So crystals are amazing. And the reason I love them is because they don't ask for anything in return. Like, you just, thank you, crystal. You can also wear them, right? I actually have just discovered selenite in the beaded form, which is amazing. You have to be careful though. Selenite is very porous and it is not a water cleansing crystal, and it will shred and shrapnel and actually eventually break, and it like whittles it down. So you just be careful with your crystals, and you can do your research and just kind of asking the internet, like, is this water soluble? Selenite is not water soluble, but something like rose quartz and green adventuring is. And so making sure that you're clearing your crystals when you're using them. I recommend at least once a week. I like clean my crystals every day. I love selenite. I love the energy of it. So I sleep with selenite by my bed, and I take my malas off at the end of the night, and I just lay them like so on my selenite. And even after, like, you sleep with your crystals, you can put them on or near the selenite. Like, selenite has like such a protection vibration to it, and it just emanates. It's like I can feel the selenite like all the way over here. So it's good, and it's important to clear your crystals. And another great way to clear your crystals when you're using them all the time is under a full moon, and just find a window that has some exposure with the intention, because intention, right, is everything. Like, I intend on clearing this energy. Sometimes that can be enough too. So helping heal our hearts, right? It can be a vulnerable thing. It can be something that a lot of us don't want to do, because a lot of us don't want to feel pain, and we don't want to feel grief. So like, if you have been struggling with maybe a loss of a loved one, or something just like even the pandemic, sometimes it's really hard to like, oh my God, this is what our world is coming to, or having like a lot of fear or worry, like it can shut down our heart center. And so I'm learning, I'm actually taking my 300 hours, so I will be a 500-hour yoga teacher, and I'm kind of inviting what mudras are. And a mudra is something that we do with our hands that kind of like seal things in. And our thumb is like our grounding finger, and our pointer finger is actually related to our heart. So I think of when we're getting in trouble as a kid, people like point and like shame us and guilt us. And like, that is like, I always thought that this was our fire finger. Like I did, but it's actually our air finger. Like I think of it as air now. I always thought it was like fire, 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 but actually our thumb is our fire finger. But if you're like, if you wanted to invite mudra and healing the heart chakra with mudra, you just invite this lovely circle. So anytime you touch any of your fingers that are attached to different energy centers that you can find in the video I made all about chakras, but in particular, we're talking about the heart center, the green, right? We have these healing crystals, and now we can use mudra. And this is something you can bring with you anywhere. Like you're at the grocery store, you're struggling, you're having a hard conversation with someone, you make that mudra, you can put it in your heart, you can slip it under your shirt, you can like touch your heart. It's like EFT tapping has been something that has been really helpful for me when I'm like tapping your fingers. And just again, with that intention on helping heal that energy center. And in mantra, there's Sanskrit, they're called bija mantras, and they've been chanted for like thousands upon thousands of years, and they help us with healing, like on an energetic, like vibrational frequency. And the healing mantra, if you want to add in with your mudra, super powerful, is YAM, which is YAM. And it's just like taking that nice breath that brings that healing, that innate ability to breathe into healing. And it's YAM, YAM. And it can be really powerful to actually mantra that 108 times. And that's why traditionally yogis have worn malas, is to help us with our mantra. So, right, these fingers are our pointer and our thumb. And so you're bringing those fingers together. Yam, yam. And let yourself kind of get in a seated position or even laying down. I know meditation can be hard for people sitting up, and some people it's bad on your back or whatever. So you don't have to like find the traditional Sukhasana, crisscross Appasana. You can find something that feels comfortable and at ease, and yam. I know that when I did take my first training, there's some people who were like skeptical about Sanskrit and they weren't sure what it meant. And right, this is just geared towards healing that heart center. And if that is not resonating with you, that's totally fine. We can use affirmations or auto-suggestion, which are suggestions like from our conscious mind to our subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind is what forms our paradigm. Our paradigm is like all of our beliefs that lead us up to here and today, and like that maybe made us feel like we weren't worthy of love. And our paradigm tells us that we're not worthy of love. But to heal this heart chakra, to shift that paradigm, we can use affirmations or auto-suggestions of I am love. I am worthy of love. I am surrounded by love. And you can bring in words like that help enrich and bring healing vibrations into that heart center that will vibrate out, because what we put out comes back to us. And another great one is I am healing. I'm grateful for my body's ability to heal. I'm grateful for love. Gratitude is an instant shift in vibrations. A gratitude practice attached with like those powerful healing affirmations can change so freaking much. And the whole premise of me creating this video all around heart healing is that it's not just like one way. It's not just this way. So take what resonates with you, whether it's like the mantra, the mudra, the crystals, the intention, whatever resonates with you. And like take the pieces that vibe with you and then leave the others behind. Like don't waste another minute, right? And if we're feeling like we're having a really hard time with our heart center, which I think we all need healing, especially now, like we need healing for the collective consciousness of humanity. And we can use the yoga asana, which is the movement portion. So anything that has to do with heart opening, which is back bends. And you don't have to be like a contortionist. You don't have to be super flexible. It's as simple as you could take a seated position and then inhale. Tip open your heart, squeeze your shoulder blades together, maybe tip your chin up gently to the sky. and bringing a heart centering breath in as you allow yourself permission to breathe love into your heart space. And exhale love around you. And you could just focus on something like that, and you can make it a daily practice, because it's not like a one and a done. It's not a practice, it's a perfect. And the more we do things, the more we invite this healing. And even in a standing position, if you're in like a warrior 2 or peaceful warrior is actually a really good back bend. It's also really rooting, right? And that's when your feet are forward, your arms, like you're going from your warrior 2, peaceful warrior, gentle back bend. Oh, that can feel so good. And if you're having restrictions in your shoulders, anything where you're back bending, gentle cobras on your belly, pressing up with the arms underneath of the shoulders. Also a sphinx is awesome, laying flat on your belly with your arms extended forward, and then just inhale. If you're feeling like, oh man, I want to get really open in my heart center, you can do a fish or supported fish, which I freaking love. It's with a bolster, and you would lay your legs forward and just release back with the bolster as a support in your back, and you lay back and let your hearts just splay open. You can also do that non-supported. It's obviously not nearly as comfortable, more if you're like doing an active practice, that can be really helpful. Or you can do the bow pose, which is like ultra heart opener when you're on your belly, on your tummy, and then you bend your knees, and then you're reaching your hands back here, and then you're inhaling. That can be really hard sometimes on the spine if you're not ready. You can also just float your arms back and then kick your heels up like you're flying Superman, Superwoman, super all the things. And yeah, so that can also, like those asanas, anything where you are bringing awareness to the heart and expanding. I also like to bring healing to the heart center into meditation or like a visualization practice. Even this lovely mural that I made can remind you, like a lotus is like almost like our heart is opening up, like instead of staying closed. Like a lotus is this beautiful representation of like us in our emotional state. And like a lotus starts at the bottom of these like deep, dark, mucky waters, and it slowly has to travel up through all this gunky nastiness because it sees the sun. When it sees the sun, that lotus is like coming up and taking this freaking journey all the way up until it sees the sun, and then it opens and it blossoms. But once it starts getting dark again, that lotus closes, right? Just like us, and goes back into hiding. And knowing that rest is also an essential part of our healing journey. I know we get so freaking caught up, I do myself, in like being busy and getting more done and like multitasking. Like I'm a mom and there's so many things happening, business owner, writing books, all the things, that we skimp on our rest. A lot of people will say like, oh, rest when I die. And it's like, no, rest is essential to healing, like slowing down. And right, that's another great gift of the pandemic, is it's allowed us permission to slow down a little bit, right? When we were like staying home, it was like, oh, I don't have to be so rushed and going places, like meetings online. Like that's kind of cool. Oh, online shopping. Like there's been a lot of gifts and things that allow us to like slow down and to invite more rest and restoration into our lives. So just thinking of that when we're coming to healing our hearts is allowing rest into our body and really inviting, whether it's that affirmation, the auto-suggestion of like healing and forgiveness and compassion into your heart. And knowing that forgiveness, my friends, forgiveness isn't something that you even have to ask the other party for, because there's a lot of people who have wounded us and we have like deep trauma, deep seeds, deep thistly thorns in our hearts. We have deep holes and craters and cracks in our heart center. And that it's not that we're like wanting to heal and fill all those wounds, but giving ourselves permission to invite forgiveness. And a lot of times it's just like forgiving, like I forgive you. And even if you don't feel like you need forgiving, we all need forgiving. There's no shame or guilt or resentment in healing and forgiveness. Like it is for you. And even someone who's wounded us, like physically, mentally, emotionally, sexually, like horrible things, forgiveness is not excusing their behavior or condoning what they've done is right. That's not at all what forgiveness is about. Forgiveness is putting yourself in a loving and a forgiving state to help you heal on deeper levels. And even that person who has hurt you and wounded you deeply, like a practice that we can do emotionally, like for our emotional state to connect us to like our spiritual and physical state, is like, I forgive you, and sending that person love. And it can be a hard practice, and it can take time because it's a practice. It's not a perfect. And just being the love, like being the forgiveness, like, I forgive you. I forgive you. And always asking, like, or saying, I forgive you, like forgiving yourself, and then sending that forgiveness out. Because again, that forgiveness, it's a vibration for healing you at deeper levels, not them. And again, it's not saying what they have done is okay, that their behavior is excused. This is putting you in this loving space to help heal your hearts on a deeper level. Like it is, again, it's like, it's a hard thing, but it's so powerful. And I just really implore you to invite that you can heal and you can forgive, and we can start mending like the wounds of our hearts. And another practice that is actually, I do when I am giving a Reiki session, I do like kind of really custom. Sometimes I invite yoga, I do visualization, meditation, and Reiki, kind of just like all spiral together. It's kind of like Shelly's special Reiki yoga meditation. And that will do a practice like inside, so you're getting relaxed and comfortable and cozy with your crystals. And you can invite the healing color of green, the healing color of pink, and you can almost imagine it like a foggy day or like a diffuser just softly billowing and filling up the space around your heart. Or even you can allow any healing colors to come into the space of your heart, and then let it fill up until that healing color expands like to the parameters of your skin, and then it slowly starts seeping through and then filling up the space around you until it just keeps growing like an inch, 2 inches, a foot, until you can allow that healing color to expand. And even you can allow that healing color to fill up the entire space of the entire body. And that practice is really helpful too. And sometimes, like, you know, if I'm having a lot of stress or anxiety, I get a lot of social anxiety. Like, you can take a minute in a corner, right? You can invite that mudra, put it on your heart, maybe even just doing a little tapping. So there's so many things that we can do to help healing our heart center. And these are just a lot of tips. And I just encourage you maybe to pick one or pair it with two, right? If you wanted to incorporate it into your yoga practice, you can do like that mudra, which is the Gayana mudra. And then you can invite movement, right, with those back bends. And you can also invite that, the healing Bhaja mantra, which is Yam, or I am love, I am worthy of love. Like, there's a lot of things that we can do. And also, I will say this always and forever, is a gratitude practice is a gateway to our heart, a gateway to being grateful, is a gateway to a better life, to a healthier mind, healthier body, and a healthier spirit. And that is as simple as, right, we were just talking about auto-suggestion, which is a suggestion from your conscious mind to your subconscious mind, so we can shift our paradigm to like knowing that we are deserving and that we are worthy of freaking love, that love is like our birthright. And you can, I am grateful for love. I am grateful for healing. I'm grateful I'm worthy of love. And even if you can pick like 2 to 4 affirmations, gratitude affirmations, and rewrite them 11 times and write them in the morning, because how we start our day is what follows with us. It's like the vibration we're like setting ourselves up to. And then right when you're going to bed, you can keep that gratitude journal right by your bed. And as you're falling asleep, you can journal, or as you're falling asleep, you just put your hands on your heart and you invite, I am grateful for love. I'm grateful for healing. I am grateful I'm worthy of love. And when you fall asleep in that loving vibration, it carries on with you through your dream state, where we do like our deeper spiritual healing in our sleep. So many good things. I love you. I hope that you're gaining some valuable content, and please share this and subscribe to Awaken You Healing Center. And I will be back here next time sharing some more of my love for all things healing. I love you.